they're supporting each other both on Sundays and outside, in their lives during the week. The parents group, similarly, is really connected. We've been running Parents Lounge once a month, and the level of support that they have for each other is really touching to watch. Again, both when we're here on campus and also outside in their lives during the week. Adult RE is thriving. We've done some in-house sessions that I've been doing about our values. I've also started collaborating with the directors of religious education at Santa Barbara and Palomar, and we're running a three-part series called The Congregation is the Curriculum. So I'm excited to collaborate with some of my colleagues in the Southern California area, and we're all growing our programs by working together. UU Seniors is thriving, as are many of the other groups that meet during the week, and the second hour programs are going really well. We've had consistently, definitely at least one thing every Sunday, usually multiple things, and all of them are pretty substantially attended. So I'm excited for the year in spiritual exploration. I feel like the music program is also going really well. Our chalice choir in particular is just blooming. Lots of new members, and they're sounding really great. And we're thinking about different ways to, restructure those of us who are on staff to right-size the music program and make it even better in the years to come. So it's exciting times.
What is it about this place, First UU San Diego, that makes you want to work here?
The staff. I feel very at home, very welcome. The community definitely is very different than everywhere else I've worked at, and I just feel very just welcome every single time I'm here, and I don't know, I just feel at home and it's happy, and the campus is beautiful, and even though sometimes it can be like really busy, it never feels like it's stressful. It just feels like we are going to get through this together. And I don't think I've ever been anywhere else like that, where we all just work together and make everything happen.
You should keep that in.
Okay. My name is Valeria Aguilar. I am the Membership and Social Justice Coordinator here at First UU, and I have been here for almost 2 years. As part of my membership role, I work with the Welcoming and Membership Committee that is made up of, I think, 7 members now, and they have been the most wonderful team to be able to develop a new membership process and materials to be able to more seamlessly get through the process of membership for new visitors and for people that are just wanting to get to know and join our congregation. They've also reached out to our new visitors, so whenever we ask people to fill out a visitor contact form at service, that gets turned into me, and then on to members of our welcoming committee who reach out and really do the relationship building aspect of all the things. And so I want to say a big thank you to my welcoming and membership committee. One of the other things I want to celebrate is that this past year we welcomed in over 25 new members to our congregation, which would not have been possible without committee. And also some children sprinkled into there. That has been really great, and I really enjoy working with the ministers every time we get to do a new member blessing ceremony. It's just become a really it's a new ritual to me, but it's become very sacred in the work that I do. In my social justice role, one of the big things that stuck out to me this past church year has been the consistent effort to show up at No Kings rallies throughout the year. I think we've had 3 at this point, and every single time, as soon as they're announced at the national level, I get some emails being like, we need a First UU group to be at the San Diego location. And so I just want to say thank you for your commitment to showing up in our community. We've even had help from members to carpool people to and from the protest when they're not able to show up and walk themselves. And so just seeing the way in which people show up for each other has been really great. One of the other things I want to shout out is just all the social justice action groups that are on campus. You not only show up for one another within our community, but also outside in the larger San Diego community. I want to give a very special shout out to the volunteers in the Faith program who are doing court accompaniment in downtown San Diego. It's been one of the most essential work that has been done in immigration here in San Diego. And so I want to thank you for being leaning into the multicultural community that is here in San Diego and showing up for other people when you're in position to do so.
Hi there, I'm Reverend Kristen Carriga. I serve as the Associate Minister, and I am finishing my 3rd year with you all in this role. This has been an exciting year. I know that you may have heard from some other staff people, but the big transition for South Bay of moving out of somewhere where that was our spiritual home for over 14 years into a new space. I think one of the kind of core memories I think of is the celebration we had. We had a worship service, and there were people from Hillcrest and South Bay and St. John's and the Pantry. We had some folks who came and did a land acknowledgement, and just to have St. John's full with that energy of 80 people celebrating, thinking about their hopes and dreams for the future of the South Bay campus. And so that was really exciting. And also just to really see the pantry thriving. Every time I'm at the pantry, I just think this is one of the most important ministries we've ever done, right? To feed our community, to bring all these people into relationship with one another. And I've seen those relationships lead to other kinds of justice work, for showing up for each other around immigration and resisting detention. That's one of the other things I think we've really been called to live our values in a deeper way this year. And I've seen the congregation show up around immigration and immigrant justice in such deep and powerful ways. And I feel just deeply grateful and inspired to be part of that work. It's been not an easy year around social justice issues, but to know that we can do something and that we don't have to do it alone feels really, really valuable. So in some of my other roles, I support our lay ministers team. And so really just to watch the ongoing community of care that folks cultivate, whether it's making visits or showing up with their yellow scarves and listening on the patio on Sundays. I love this group that I get to work with and all the ways that they support through Grief Support Circle and Chronic Conditions Group and Memory Matters. And it's a real gift. One of our annual things that I do is I work with Gay Hybertson, and we do a day-long retreat where we do training and community building. And this year we did the whole thing through art. And so we did a bunch of like art therapy together and tried all sorts of different things with music, and that was a real joy. So lots of wonderful things happening. I love seeing the growth in the congregation. So many new people coming in, feeling welcomed, feeling like this is their spiritual home. I know that there's been times when Justine and I have had so many new member meetings that we just can't keep track of them. And I think that's a good thing, right? That's a beautiful thing. I guess the other big thing I should say is that this year we went through the call discernment process, and I was called as your associate minister, and I said yes, and we just completed installation, and nothing has been a deeper joy for me than to say a wholehearted yes to continuing to serve with this amazing team of people. So, thank you.
Hello again, friends. If you are sitting in the room and have not yet received your ballot, that means that we don't know you're here. So if you could come back out to the table that's out here under the overhang and check in and get your ballot, that would be great. If you are online and have not yet done so, please type your full name in the chat if you are a voting member. And if there are multiple people watching with you at home, please type all of the names of all the voting members so we can establish a quorum. Thank you.
name's Laura Anderson. I'm the Youth and Young Adult Coordinator. I've been here since August of 2022, so I'm embarking on, I'm almost 4 years in, and I work with youth and young adults, per the name. Youth age 12 through 18, young adults 18, 19 through 35.
And what do you think is most on the minds of the young people, the youth and the young adults that you interact with? Like, what are they most excited about or worried about?
Yeah. I'd say, in essence, service, wanting to do what they can, given the nature of what's happening in the world right now, and a lot of heartache and grief, but then this desire to mobilize.
And do you think that there are opportunities for them to do that, to mobilize, to serve?
Yeah, and big kudos to you for that, and you, the social justice coordinator and pantry coordinator and South Bay, and everybody.
Oh, you mean like
else,
we
too.
work as a team?
Yeah.
One of the things I was thinking about was the burrito project, which I know has, been really successful this year. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's been enriching to see how it's evolved from sometimes I show up and there'd be like one person there to now there's people of all ages. So youth, I think there's a young as like 4.
What is the burrito project?
What is it? The burrito project is a project that started with a former young adult suggested to me as I was building the group, and what we do is we prepare burritos together, those that want to volunteer for the project, and then distribute these burritos downtown to folks experiencing food insecurity and homelessness.
And how is that received by the people that you offer the food to?
Really well. They're always really appreciative. Sometimes we'll say, "Can I have another one?" But then when we say no, and then they say, "No, thank you so much." So there's a spirit of like tremendous gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And didn't you have some youth do like a partnership project, like with toiletries and stuff that happened because of that?
Yeah. So there's been youth interest in expanding, to broadening it to including hygiene products and things like that. Yeah.
So it sounds like service really is at the core, like wanting to offer something to the world.
Yeah.
And are there things here on campus that you think that youth and young adults would like to be more involved in? Are there opportunities that you see, things you think about going forward? Or?
Yeah, so the Peace Garden is one. There's been some interest in developing and cultivating that garden space. And then also some more interest in supporting South Bay. So those are 2 things that I'm hoping to encourage moving forward.
My name is Karina Macias. I'm your Outreach and Pantry Coordinator. This year has been a very exciting year because South Bay and the food pantry moved into St. John's, which was a whole big experience. It was fun, a little stressful, but I have...
Hi, folks, it's me again. We are at very close to the line for quorum, but every person who checks in counts at this point. So if you have not checked in, please come to the table and check in and make sure we have counted every single voting member in the room. Thank you. Also online, same deal. If you are a voting member and you can hear me online and haven't checked in yet, please, please, please type your full name in the chat. Thank you.
Including our dedicated volunteers and our clients so happy at the new space. They love it. And also the food pantry wouldn't run food and have amazing volunteers. So definitely, and I love working with all of them. And our social media definitely has grown a lot this year. And I've noticed that the biggest trend is pictures of what's happening here on campus. So if you ever have pictures, please send them to me. That is really helpful. And also if you have any videos as well, because people love to see your lovely faces.
And I just wanted to say, Leora has done such a beautiful job with our graphics and with just like helping our worship slides like tie into the theme. I love the way the window is formatted and First Words is formatted now. You just have such gifts, and I'm just so grateful for the ways in which you have brought those gifts to help make it more beautiful.
Thank you.
It's me again. Friends, if you are watching at home online, if you are watching from our home page, you don't see the chat because the chat is in YouTube. So there's a couple options. You can go to our YouTube page, and there you will find the chat, and you can please give me your full name so we can check you in. If that sounds complicated to you, then you need to text me at my cell phone. I will give it to you now. Get a pen. 410-925-4208. So if you're watching at home and can't figure out where the chat is, just text me your full name, 410-925-4208. Thanks.
And Tony is married, so don't be texting him, because you just want to.
I do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, so putting myself out there in front of the congregation, I was feeling a little shy, and I hadn't sung in a really long time, but just being able to create music with everyone, and I get to know the congregation better, the people I'm singing with, and then people just coming up talking to me about it. I just feel more connected, and it's just not just enriching in my work life, but just in my personal life. My mood is better after every choir rehearsal, after every service singing. So that's just been a real gift.
My name is Robbie Evans, and I'm the Director of Operations for First UU Church since 2011. So June 1st will be my 15th work anniversary. Yay! I love this place. I grew up here between the ages of 5 and 10 under Dr. John Clark, and then moved away to where there wasn't a UU church. But when I came back or when I met my husband, I always had in my mind, I need to get married at church. So Ray and I were married here in 1980, and Dr. Clark came out of retirement to marry us, and that was always special. And Ken Herman played organ for our wedding. So I have a very long history at this beloved church of mine, and now I get to be staff member. And so I get to do all those administrative-y type things. But like Leora, one of my favorite things to do here is play my violin or my viola at service. And it just rocks my world. So it's just a favorite thing I do, and I love hearing the appreciation from all of the members, and it really makes my day and my week and my month. So I look forward to those times. And one of the great joys, as you've heard already or maybe about to hear, is working with our staff. We do have the best staff in the world, and after an almost 30-year banking career, coming here and working with the people that I do and the care that I receive and that we give each other is one of the highlights also of this place. Our staff is just the best. And I do all sorts of other boring type things that aren't boring to me, but maybe boring to other people. Whenever you say administration, you'll... Anyway. But one of the great big things we did this year is a transition from e-tapestry database to Realm as our database. And they have an app, so all of you will be learning how to do the app if you haven't already. And the staff is learning also, and it's going to be a great thing to connect all of the people in a group to each other, because you can send messages to each other and all sorts of cool things like looking on your app to see what you've given. Nobody's ever had that opportunity before. So I am really excited about that, if you can't tell. Anyway, there's just so many things that have happened. The move to South Bay, of the South Bay campus to St. John's Episcopal Church was just a feat of many hands, and just one that I just love St. John's to death. I just love their buildings. I love their people. It's just wonderful. And then having the vote to call Reverend Kristen in February.
Good news, all. We have 154 people. The show will go on.
Thank you for waiting, and we will post that video online so you can see the interviews with staff in its complete form. So we begin with some chalice lighting words, and these come to us from Lois E. Van Leer. We light this chalice, we light this chalice not because we must, but because we may. We light this chalice not because we have the truth, but because we each come bearing and seeking many truths. We light this chalice in connection across culture, distance, class, and language. We light this chalice that our religion may be a beacon of light, hope, and justice. We light this chalice to kindle our hearts and our minds.
Good morning. Afternoon. Nope, morning. Still morning. I'll now call this meeting to order. And a special welcome to those of you who are joining us online. I will now call for the approval of the consent agenda, which contains 3 sets of minutes. These are posted on the church's website in the members section. They're for June 8th of last year, January 25th of this year, and February 8th of this year. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda? Thank you.
Was that Matt?
Matt.
Matt Kaplan.
And is there a second?
Patrick. I see Patrick Nichols.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. And now I'd like to call up the board members and Randy Brinton, who is the chair of the nominating committee.
Should I read from this? I have it here.
Either way, whatever you want.
Okay. Good morning, still. Let me find my place. On behalf of the nominating committee, I present your Board of Trustees slate for fiscal year 2026 to 2027. The vote for our Board of Trustees president for the financial year 26 to 27 is Karen Lamphere for a 1-year term. For vice president and president-elect from 2026 to 2027, and then president from 2027 to 2028, Marin Outwater for a 2-year term. Treasurer Armin Coleman for a 2-year term. Member-at-large Barbara Davenport for a 2-year term. Member-at-large Ian Gill for a 3-year term. If the board candidates are elected, your Board of Trustees and their terms going into fiscal year 2026 to 27 will be Trustee number 1 position, Karen Lamphere, President, term ending 2027. Trustee number 2, Marin Outwater, Vice President, term ending 2028. Trustee number 3, Armin Coleman, Treasurer, term ends 2027. Trustee number 4, Jim Davis, term ends 2027. Trustee number 5, Rose Van Oss, term ends 2027. Trustee number 6, Barbara Morton, term ends 2028. Trustee 7, Brian Kugel, term ends 2028. Trustee 8, Barbara Davenport, term ends 2028. Trustee number 9, Ian Gill, term ends 2029. Are there any questions about the slate? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Randy. And we'll now present your ministerial search team slate as follows: Laura Ball, Leland Beck, Steve Howard, Sarah Ferguson, Sarah Ormond, Vanessa Poole, and Tonya Vignello. And we'll do the installation ritual later, so you don't need to come up. And I will now call for the vote and marking of the ballots for the approval of the Board of Trustees candidate slate and for the ministerial search team slate. The ushers will collect this first set of ballots, which are bright yellow, and then they'll take them back to the ballot committee to be counted. And while that is happening, I'd like to call on our treasurer, Armin Coleman, and Robbie Evans, our Director of Operations, to present this fiscal year's financial report and proposed budget in a combined presentation.
Hello, my name is Armin Kuhlman. My pronouns are he and him, and I serve as treasurer for our Board of Trustees. And we're going to start with the financial review for the year, which ends June 30th, 2026. And I have some You have a handout with some slides that you can also follow along as an aid as far as seeing things on the screen. And due to interest in time, some of the slides we won't go into in detail. There will be opportunity for questions and answers after I've finished. The slides. So I don't see the slides down here, though. Next slide. Okay, the first slide is for your reference only. I'm not going to go into detail on that now. We're going to have the next slide coming up. We'll show you more in the chart form. Next slide, please. Okay, income trends. This year, we're projected to have higher income than our budget for the year. And if you look at the chart, it shows some columns there, and the first one is for the 10 months year to date. The second one is for the budget year to date. The third one is for our annual budget, and the fourth one is for the projections. And so our projections are for a higher income, and that's because of the generosity of our congregation in terms of higher pledges than expected too, higher than budgeted, and we're certainly grateful for that. Because the parking income has taken a dive, and it is going to be continuing that way since they've added a new parking structure for UCSD. And the chart shows in various colors for the contributions and the other parts of our income budget. We do have transfers and interest included in our income too, and that comes from like the general fund surplus, the renewal and growth fund, and our endowment income. Next slide, please. Our expenses. Now, our expenses are going to be under budget, which is generally a good thing if it's for the right reason. The only significant area that was above budget was in the facilities area, having to do with rent and storage. And part of that was also with the extra expense with South Bay. Part of it was been offset by some grants there. So here again, you see the columns, and you see the trend, like with blue for the personnel expense, and the facilities expenses. Now, the next slide, please. This is just for your reference, to show you that we do have money in the bank. This is our total assets, and it shows the restricted cash and investments, and the other unrestricted cash and investments, and fixed assets. That's a big part of it there as well. That's in the yellow on your charts. The charts up here are showing different colors, so I won't be able to refer to those there without getting confused. Next slide, please. Liabilities and equity. Okay, so the equity of the church includes the endowment and our various reserve funds, and we'll have more detail on that later. The long-term liabilities include the mortgage, which we are thankful that will be going is going away. May even catch on fire. Yeah. Next slide, please. Okay, reserve funds, because that's a big part of our assets and equities there. The biggest part there is the physical plant, and that is the cost, replacement cost the original cost for our physical plant and structure there. We also have donor restricted funds in the yellow, and the endowments funds, which are about $1.7 billion and hopefully growing. Now, next slide, please. Okay, so on to the fiscal year 2027 projected or budget. The budget is $1.88 million. Sure. $1.88 million. And looking at your handout slides, the largest portion of that, of course, is from our contributions at 46%. And the parking income has gone down to 24%. It's been over 30% for years. So you can see where we're going here. And since it's in gray on your chart, that indicates cloudy skies ahead too. There. So, and then our other income includes a large part of that is rent from the preschool and rent of our facilities for outside groups. And then we have transfers and interest in the budget as well in the blue. Next slide, please.
We have a mix-up of colors, so I'm just here to help.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, so the income trends for the budget, the numbers at the top show you what we had for our fiscal year 25 actuals, and then the fiscal year 26 budget, and then the projected income, and then the budget. And the budget is less than for this current year. It's about $91,000 less. We're projecting the pledge income at about $822,000, and that's about 55% of our operating income, which is, when you compare that to the benchmark for UUA for our size of church, which is about 75 or 80%, you can see that we probably need to step up on that as well, particularly with being less reliant on the parking lot. We have a budget there proposed for $430,000. It's lower than this year, and it's over $200,000 below our last year's budget, or current year's budget. Excuse me. Okay, next slide, please. Our expense budget. The largest part of that in the blue is the staff expense, and then we also have the outside personnel, which is about 13%, and that is for the accounting service that we have, our controller, Aaron Sakapanita, the custodial service, security, and other outside services. Facilities are 13% of the budget, and that's less because there's no mortgage projected in the budget. And let's go on to the next slide, please. As far as the expense trends, the personnel costs are up due to wage adjustments to partly conform with the UUA fair practices for staff. And our facilities expenses are reduced because of paying off the loan, our mortgage loan. That saves $76,000 a year, which we were paying interest only. And we've also saved money from the move to St. John's, which saves about $4,000 a month, too, about 50%. See, so the expense budget, of course, is lower than the current year's budget at $1.88 million. Now, just to finish up, there are a couple other charts. Next, please. It shows you a breakdown of the personnel expenses, the payroll in the blue, and the benefits and taxes in the gold or orange, and outside personnel as well. Next slide, please. Facilities expense. The largest part of that is our maintenance and repair. And then we also have insurance, property, or our general liability insurance has increased significantly as well. And then we have our other expenses and the mortgage. The utilities in there. So the next slide, please, It's program and denomination support. And in that we have the ministry teams in orange or gold, and denominational support. This is what we send to UUA, and also $5,000 to Kent de Benneville, included in there. And then administration and communications. And actually, we are having we expect and budgeted lower communications expenses this year with the new database and improvements in the financial reporting too. So that's good to have there. I wanted to say that the Finance Committee and the board feels this proposed budget does support the strategic direction of our church, and in our goal to retain the personnel to continue our ministry programs, and with the growth of our membership, we need to continue the funding for this, and maintaining our staff and the valuable services they provide. So I also wanted to thank you to the staff for preparing the budget, and the Finance Committee for their analysis and review of the budget as well before it went to the board. And now we'll open it up for questions and answers, please. Okay, Sarah, we probably need a microphone too, if one is available, so people can hear the questions.
In order to get to the kind of support expected to be pledged from a church this large, how much would our pledges have to increase? Percentage.
I don't know if you could do that. I want to say that, Armin, I'm not sure where you got that 75% figure. What colleagues and I talk about is 60 to 70% of operating costs covered by pledging. And my goal for you is that in the next 5 years, you get to 60%, and in the next 10 years, you get to 70%. I think that is realistic. So that would mean we've been at 55%. So
yes.
So about a 10% increase, I think, over the next. So I think that's doable. Is that helpful?
Yes.
We're about 50%.
We're at about 50% right now. But y'all are very generous. And you're growing. So I see that that's very meetable, but I don't want to set, double the goal of where you are now. If you guys could get to 60% in 5 years, you'd be in good shape. 70% in 10 years, you'd be in excellent shape, in my view.
Okay, good. Thank you, Justine.
Yeah.
Next question?
More questions? Yeah.
Over here.
John, new member.
You talked about transfers. Part A, where are they being transferred from? Are they endowment funds? What kinds of funds? And more importantly, how rapidly are those funds being drawn down by the amount that is represented in this year's drawdown?
The transfers come from the reserve funds. For example, we have a general fund surplus of over $200,000. From previous year's income. We have income from our endowment that is 4.5% with withdrawal. So that we have that every year. And there's a music fund, for example, that helps the music program. And this year we are having transfers from the Social Justice Fund, and also the the Social Justice Fund, and let's see,
This congregation has many, many little pots of money, and so we use them for specific purposes. But when Armin was talking about the endowment, we take 4.5% of the interest income from the endowment, so that is constantly being replenished because we're earning at a higher rate than that. Some of those other funds we have been drawing down because they've lived out their intended purpose.
Yes, and we do have the Renewal and Growth Fund too, which is very important. That's $120,000 a year and will continue for the next few years as intended by the donor designation and restrictions.
We also closed 3.
And that question makes me think you'd be a wonderful addition to our finance team, just want to say.
Right, okay.
I see a question in the back. I get to be Oprah. Oh, actually, I was going to Bill. You were waiting for her. There you go. You've got an advocate.
I'd like to know what it is that we're paying to store and how much of it we can get rid of and not have storage fees.
Yeah, that's a very good question. The Finance Committee often asks that too. And it may be something Robbie or Justine can give you more insight into, but I know they're working on that, and that there's also been a reduction in the rates that we have to pay the outside storage company as well, which will help in the budget, and we do have a lower storage budget this year.
A big part of it is financial records, which we have to go through. We have to keep for a certain amount of time, and then we have to go through them, and we actually shredded some of the things that that we could legally do, and that costs money. So some of those expenses we are working on lowering, but it is a cost.
Right. Okay. Another question?
How much time do we have for this, Karen? Are we kind of following that?
What was that? One more.
On the screen 19 about reserve funds.
Which fund?
Reserve funds. We have $2,797,667 for plant. And I don't know I don't understand that, because a quick adding it up in my head without a calculator, it seems like we have reserve funds in excess of what we have in total. So, and also I understand that we're in dire need of funds for the plant to repair things. So could you speak to that a little bit, please?
Well, that reflects, that figure is the dollar figure of the original cost of our fixed assets and plant. As far as the necessary maintenance and improvements for our plant and infrastructure, some of that will be coming from the capital campaign, and this will be there will be recommendations and analysis by the Finance Committee and the board for sustaining our fiscal plan. See, and this, we need to remember, is not money in the bank or anything. This dollar figure is not money in the bank. That is a cost figure, and this is the way that we included in our fund accounting system. Okay, so that was the last question, I guess, here. So, thank you.
Thank you, Armin. The board recently approved 2 constitutional amendments that are on the ballot today.
You want to call for the vote on the budget?
Oh. No, actually, I'm going to do the 2 votes at the same time.
All right, great.
So yeah, that's okay. The 2 constitutional amendments on the ballot today, and those were also posted on the member section of the website, and I wonder if there are any questions about those amendments now. Okay. Here.
Do we need any explanation of them, or was it clear in the materials? I shouldn't ask an or question. I'm sorry. You're nodding your head, yes, you'd like more information, or you got it? Okay. I did it again, but I got it that time. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, and now I'll call for the vote and marking of the ballots for the approval of our FY 26-27 general operating budget and the 2 proposed constitutional amendments. And this is on the bright blue, hopefully the only ballot you have left, a bright blue one. And our ushers will come around again and collect your ballots, and you can pass them to the end of your row to make things easier.
2/3. We need a 2/3 majority on those, right? Because they're...
Yes, and for these 2, one reason we separated the 2 ballots is that we just needed a simple majority on the first 2 things, and we need 2/3 approval for the budget and any constitutional amendment.
Karen, the stream is a little bit behind the room, and so somebody did ask just for a quick clarification on those amendments.
Okay.
I'm happy to speak to the lifetime member one, and then maybe Kristen, you could talk to the membership one. So occasionally, it's not very often, but someone will leave congregational life because of illness or because they move into care, and then upon their death, and then if they kind of disappear, after a while, we remove them from the rolls because they're not pledging, they're not participating in active life. And then when they die, their family comes and wants for us to do a celebration of life, and technically they're not members, so they're not eligible for the free use of our facility and all the things that go along with being a member, and that just feels wrong to me. So I suggested to the board that we create a lifetime member category so that if you've been a member here and participated fully in the life of the church, when it comes for you to die, we will bury you, we will honor you, we will celebrate you, and you will get full membership honor. So that's what that's about. There is very little financial implication, but I can't even tell you how good it will feel to be able to say, your mom was ours, and we are going to honor her, please come. So that's what that's about. And Kristen, do you want to just talk about the simplifying the membership process?
Thank you. So the membership team has done some amazing work this year, trying to simplify and streamline the membership process, and also trying to identify, are there any barriers to people who want to become members to become members? So, right, part of, making the application is now 1 page long, right? So that barrier around paperwork. But one of the things that we noted was that the bond of union we do a double process here, where you sign both a membership book and a bond of union card. And what we've heard from some of our newer members and younger folks is that the term bond of union for a church that is a church we join freely feels like a mismatch. And so what this amendment does is it takes away the double requirement of having to sign the membership book and the bond of union. We will just sign the membership book. And we also wanted to simplify the languages. You complete the approved process of membership and you assign the membership book. That allows the membership team and the ministers and the board to work together to modify the membership process as we go to make it relevant to these times. So it takes some specifics out, and also it does remove the requirement to sign a bond of union and the membership book. Any questions on that? All right. I see Julie, just one.
Kristen, really quickly, just for the people at home, the links are not clickable. You need to copy it and paste it into your browser window, or use your phone and scan the QR code.
So it refers to the approved membership process, so I assume there's a process for changing the approved membership process that's defined somewhere?
Yes, so part of what we're doing when we do bylaw changes is you don't want to put all the specifics in the bylaw, right? Because that's really a policy and procedure question. So what we're saying is that, yes, you have to complete an approved membership process and you sign the membership book. The current process is that you either come to an invitation to community session or set up a one-to-one meeting with Valeria, our membership coordinator. You fill out the application paperwork, and then you meet with the minister and sign the membership book and complete a pledge or request a waiver. But this gives us also the freedom to adjust that in small ways that are in alignment with our values and the process and procedures that make sense at the time.
Right, because to modify the bylaw, you need 2/3 majority to do so. So we don't want to have to ask the congregation for that for small changes. So that's why we're kind of liberating the language a bit so that we can do the right thing and follow the spirit of what's intended, which is to grow, yes? And to make it easy for people to come and be part of us.
And now I'd like to call up Dave Hunt, and he will give us an overview, an update of Our Sustainable Future effort.
Thank you, Karen, and good to see you all again. So, glad you're here, whether you're viewing online or later. I want to thank all of you for your interest in this important work that's being done by the OSF team. You can see their names here, our minister, staff, and lay members who comprise the team. Next slide, please. So, your OSF team has been meeting for 2+ years to determine whether it's more viable to remain here on our Hillcrest campus or relocate. And our ongoing goal is to define a scenario that is preferred by most and acceptable to everyone. That's the phrase we've been using, preferred by most and acceptable to everyone. Ironically, sometimes it seems like we should change the name to our Searching Forever. It just has been going on and on. But seriously, we continue to make progress in reaching that goal while having still many unanswered questions. And today I'll talk about some of those and try to answer a few and allow some minutes as we can on our very full agenda to answer some of yours. Next slide, please. For those who may be relatively new to the congregation, we formed the OSF team to help us make these difficult decisions. Primarily, can we afford to stay here on this campus, even if it means selling some portion of it? Or does it make more sense to sell the whole campus and move somewhere else? And that's what we've been debating. And on the 2 OSF websites, one on the regular church website and one on the members website, there's a lot of background information that I'm not going to repeat here. You can go and look at it as you will. Next slide, please. So the two main factors that are forcing us to make these challenging decisions are the decreased parking lot revenue, which you've heard about, and the significant deferred maintenance that we have throughout our campus. For various reasons that probably don't have time to talk about it too much, but you kind of know the details. Our parking lot revenue has already begun to decline significantly. As you saw in the budget, it's expected to go down $150,000 to $200,000 in each of the next 2 years. Beyond that, it will inevitably get worse when that hospital comes down and people don't want to park in our lot. The good news is, as you can see with how I've edited this slide that you've seen before, membership and giving are no longer declining, and as you heard earlier today, we are paying off our mortgage. But we still have a lot of deferred maintenance, and as you might have looked closely in the budget, we are only putting about 1% of our annual operating income into deferred maintenance. Yes, we've got ongoing repairs that's in the budget, but only about 1% of what we're putting away to pay for things that eventually wear out, and that's not sustainable. Okay, next slide, please. For staying here, one option would be, and we're looking at multiple options, but one option would be to sell the land where currently the administration building, the classrooms, and the preschool buildings reside, and relocate those functions into the Welcome Center and the Meeting House. So this is, you can see on those pictures, the red is the parking lot, the blue is where those other buildings reside. Next slide. Could you go back one, please? No, go back, sorry. All right. So our near-term goal is to determine how much revenue we might need to get from a possible sale in order to replace the lost parking lot revenue and remodel or replace the meeting house. We certainly want to do some things to make this building more user-friendly, shall we say, and have better utilization, as well as cover our ongoing maintenance needs and possibly cover the cost of the future cover the cost of future parking would we need to pay for it, and I'll say a little more about that. So some basic math that I did here shows how much we might need to invest to generate the equivalent of what we had been getting in parking lot revenue, and that's about $11.5 million at 6%. If we could invest that money, and that's a not too optimistic rate of return, that would generate $700,000 of annual income. So we'd need at least $11.5 million to do that, but we need more than that to do the other kinds of things that we want to do. So we engaged some consultants to figure out, who we are in process of figuring out how much it might cost to remodel the meeting house, relocate some of those functions that are in those other buildings, so that we know if we go out for proposals and we get a proposal for X amount of dollars, is that going to be enough? If it's enough, great, we can stay, hopefully, and make it work. If it's not near enough, then we are faced with the likelihood that we either have to come up with a different idea of what we might sell, or we need to sell the whole thing. So those are decisions that we have not yet made, but this is the process we're following. And as I said, it's important that we not only cover the cost of those remodels, but that we can build into our budget the ability to have maintenance covered so we don't get into the situation that we're in now. Okay, now next slide. What's that? Did I mess up? Oh, it depends, that's right. Yeah, I didn't even know I did that. So anyway, let me say a little bit about UCSD. We thought for about a week or two that we had a good solution. They came to us and said, where we were going to build one of our parking lots, it's graded, it's sloped, it's too expensive. We are now interested in buying yours. And we thought, well, great, if they're going to buy our parking lot and a little more space, maybe we can work something out, because it was for their staff. And the staff generally aren't there in the evenings. The staff aren't there as much on Sundays, so we thought we could work something out. And then they came back and said, oh, our parking lot folks have decided they're going to take that lot that's just across our front street that was going to be their research building. Well, federal funding went away. You've heard about that. No research building. UCSD saying, no, we'll just build our staff parking lot there. They don't want ours. So we went to, oh, maybe we've got something to, no. So now what we're thinking is, well, if they're going to build a staff parking lot over there, we probably would get more, we'd probably come out better financially if we leased space from them rather than whoever we sell our existing parking lot to, we tell them, oh, and give us 150 spaces. The cost of one parking space to build is something on the order of $50,000. It's, okay. Anyway, so what is the value of our property? We engaged some other consultants to give us scenarios. We looked at those. Some of them were very attractive. Oh, if this right developer comes along and builds this many units, some of which were affordable and qualifies for this exemption and oh, we could get $30 million. But really, It depends on what somebody's going to come in and offer us, and we don't know that yet. Okay, next slide. So what we are doing now, with your input, we are preparing a document that we can send out to interested developers that will say, okay, here's what we have. What would you offer us if we sold you this part of our property? And they may say, oh, we don't want anything more than the parking lot. It's too steep, it's too hard to... We don't know what they're going to say. We've heard lots of different things. We've gotten one proposal, 1.5 proposals in the last 2 years, and it was only for the parking lot, and it was simply not enough money. So we thought, we'll put something together that's more detailed. We will target who we want to send that out to. We want to send it out to nonprofits that work with organizations such as ours, that build affordable housing, things that are in line with our values. That's what we would like to do. So we're going to be doing that at the same time we're finding out how much do we need in order to stay. And we think by hopefully the end of summer, sometime in the fall, we will have those answers. We can come back to you with more information. Whether we have a viable solution remains to be seen. Next slide. So, kind of repeating that. Oh, one more thing. One of our consultants has worked on grant funding. There are organizations that can work with churches such as us that are doing this kind of work, that make money available so that we can cover some of the costs that we have for consultants, and if we have to go so far as get an architect to make drawings so we can show you what we have in mind. So that's something else we'll be doing. As I said, a decision will be made when there's a viable option for your review. Okay, last slide. So, first of all, thank you for being here and for your interest in what we're doing. We only have how long do we?
I think just a few minutes until...
All right, so we probably have a couple minutes for a couple questions, and I would ask that the OSF members defer your questions till when we get back together in next month, so that those who are not on the committee might have a chance to get their question answered. But please mark your calendars, July 26th, same time, same station, same location. We will devote the after-service time strictly to OSF, so you all can talk, ask questions, tell us what you're thinking, what you're hearing. So, do we have one or two questions now, or is everything completely clear?
And I just want to say in that meeting on July 26th, we'll also have an opportunity to do some brainstorming, like what are some ideas that people have so that we can get more of your wisdom and creativity. And the rule about brainstorming is that you agree to love every idea for at least 5 minutes. So there's no, yeah, but, or that will never work, or we tried that. You just receive the good ideas and write them down and then analyze them when you've captured them. Did I see a hand up here? Was that you? Oh, sorry, we're going to go to non-OSF people first. Who else? You have a lot of insider information, and we want to make sure we're sharing information with everybody. Oh, I have no peripheral vision today.
Yeah, in the RFQ that you're going to send out, is it going to be explicit, the development that you showed, the map with the parking lot and the buildings, or are you going to allow some flexibility, somebody who wants to develop just the parking lot, or both the buildings and the parking lot?
Our intention is to say we're willing to consider relinquishing those areas that I said. Why? Number one, we think we can still make things work without those buildings there. Second is those buildings are a source of a huge amount of deferred maintenance. So if those buildings stay, we're going to have to pay money to keep them operating. If we tear them down at our expense, we're going to have an additional expense. So that's why, I know there's people that don't want to change anything. I love how it looks. I don't want to change anything, but the reality is we might have to relinquish some of that space. But the short answer to your question is we will show the potential interested parties what we think we might be willing to relinquish, and then it's up to us.
And remember that a lot of kind of what we determined we could put out there for sale was based on that lengthy process that we went through as a congregation, going around to all the different stations, and people identified the sacred spaces and objects. Remember, we went through that? And so we were looking at that as input really from a pretty broad section of the congregation in terms of what are the absolute must keep in order for us to feel like us. And most of that is this area, right? The memorial wall to the tree, the meeting house, and the welcome center, and the stuff on the higher part of the higher elevations of this campus. Very few people said, we must keep the admin building exactly as it is. I don't think, so. If we have time for one more, I'm not sure how the ballot counting's going, but I see a teller running toward us. Is there one more? Oh, Julie. And I hope folks will come on July 26th and also reach out to Dave and me if you have questions or ideas that we haven't captured today.
If we sell the parking lot and arrange to lease parking that's a bit farther away, will there be a plan for disabled or limited mobility parking or a shuttle or something?
Speaking on my, from being here for 30 years, we would not make people park further away than their ability to get here without providing a way for them to get here. Yeah. Half a block away, across the street, that's probably not too bad for most of us, but we'll make it work. We have to. There's no other way.
Yep, we'll make it work. Randy, was that? Oh.
Up in the left.
Right, there's the, dropping people off. I mean, we make it work now, right? For some people, the parking lot is a barrier. Oh. I think you're going to get the last question, and I'm coming to you.
I'm a little bit confused. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. I thought I heard that this building itself, where we're here, the meeting house is going to absorb maybe part of some of that out there and be rebuilt in such a way that somehow will be a church and be whatever else is added to the space. Did I understand that correctly?
You did. Here, you heard.
Want to repeat the question?
The question is, can we feasibly relocate what's going on in the buildings that we might relinquish into this area and the Welcome Center? We don't know, and that's why we've engaged an appropriate consultant who's an expert at estimating how much it would cost to do that. So we don't know if the number is $1 million or $500,000 or $10 million. And we really don't know. So what we want to come back with is two things: a number or a range, and the second is pictures. Because people generally can go, oh, that's what it's going to look like. Yes, no, or maybe. So we don't know, but we're going to find out.
And in terms of square footage, it seems like it should work, but we, an architect can tell us better how it might work. So stay tuned.
Thank you.
Great question.
Thank you, Dave. And now, the results of the votes. For the Board of Trustees slate, all voted in with a percentage of at least 92%. For the ministerial search team, all have been voted in with a percentage of 92%. And for the operating budget, it was approved with a 90% vote. And the constitutional amendments passed with a percentage of 89%. And now we will move on to present our officers and trustees for fiscal year 2026 and 2027. So if the board members would come up to the chancel, please. And it's myself, Maren Outwater, Armin Kuhlman, Jim Davis, Rose Van Oss, Barbara Morton, Brian Kogel, Barbara Davenport, and Ian Gill, who could not be with us because he's serving our country, on the East Coast.
Yes.
Oh, good. He is online. We will now install our board officers and trustees. Yeah. That's them, right? Yeah. Yeah. Guided by love for this community of faith and hope for our future, this congregation has elected members of the Board of Trustees and the Ministerial Search Committee.
We welcome their gifts, skills, and perspectives, and we are grateful for their willingness to serve.
Please join with us as we covenant together to install these leaders to the offices to which we have elected them.
To our newly elected board members and officers, that would be President Karen Lampier, Vice President Maren Atwater, Treasurer Armin Kuhlman, members at large Barbara Davenport and Ian Gill joining us online. Do you freely accept this responsibility to serve in these roles?
We do.
You took the script, sorry. Where are we? Okay. May our Unitarian Universalist faith and values and the mission of this congregation inform your work as you serve in leadership. May your efforts inspire goodwill in all.
Will you deal forthrightly and honestly with your fellow board members, keeping foremost in your heart and mind the health and well-being of our congregation?
We will.
The work of the church is the work of the people. It is the work of building the world of which we dream. It may require time spent poring over budgets or hours spent in meetings where small details are hashed out. It may manifest in shared laughter or outright frustration from time to time, but always it is sacred, for it is in pursuit of beloved community. Kristen, you have a part in this. I don't usually spring things on her like that, but I just did. That's okay. There you go.
Service is an act of faith. Service done faithfully in love is the work of justice and community building. This is what you have been asked. This is what you have asked of these people before you on this day, that they serve you faithfully and well. To do this, they need your trust and support.
So now I ask of the members of the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego, will you offer love and trust to your board, responding when they seek your input, showing up when they tell you that work needs to be shared, and listening carefully when they speak of the life of the church?
We will. And then, is Jim here? Here. Les, why don't you take this part from Jim?
To the newly elected members and boards of and officers of the Board of Trustees, will you be diligent and faithful in your work, bringing your best selves and practices of self-care, open-heartedness, tending with love the details of the work, and always keeping the goals of beloved community in front of you as you serve?
We will.
May the spirit of love guide you in the coming year.
May a spirit of joy infuse the work you engage, and may your service bless the world. Amen.
Thank you. And now will the members of the ministerial search team please come up? The congregation has elected you and places its deep trust in you. We charge you with the sacred task of discernment to look beyond the immediate demands and challenges of this moment to find a ministerial leader who will help us move into the future. Excuse me. One who will both challenge and comfort us, helping us to live out our mission to be a beacon of hope and a source of healing for an aching world. Will you commit to enter into this sacred task with open hearts and minds?
We will.
Will you hold with care the tender and vital stories of this congregation, honoring them faithfully and to the best of your ability?
We will.
And to the congregation, having chosen this team to lead this effort, will you allow them to lead, honoring their need for confidentiality, trusting that they are working on behalf of all of us? And the search team says, we will. We will listen.
We will listen, remembering always that we represent all of you.
We come.
We trust you, and we pledge to share with you our stories, our hopes, and our dreams for this congregation.
We hereby install you to represent us as you seek to find the next lead minister of our beloved congregation.
Let us go forward. Oh,
Yeah, there's one more.
All right, here we go.
There's no slide.
Let
us go forward together on this journey with love at the center.
Amen. Thank you,
All right.
search team.
And now I'd like to call up Tony for a very special presentation.
He needs our help too.
Okay.
So, friends, if you were, whenever I see Tony, I want to say, friends. So, if you were here this morning, you already saw that the pier has become a bridge. And although we were ambitious, we didn't think to go over 100% on our markings. So Tony tried to make the chalice lean a little bit because we are at, is it
101.
$21,000 over the $2 million goal. And that represents almost 50% of the members of the congregation contributing to that. That's a wonderful number. Yes. And I understand that some of you were sad because you missed out on being part of this, but you have until June 30th to be part of this, challenge, and we're happy to go even higher over the 100%. Because of the generosity of those who offered some challenges. A good portion of this money is going to go to our maintenance reserve fund, which means that never again will we be in that position where we're worried about being able to pay for something if it breaks. So this is good stewardship of this beloved campus. And of course, the moment you've all been waiting for, I believe that we would like to bring up Alice Diamond in honor of the Doug Diamond Memorial Capital Campaign and Fund Drive.
Whoa. So Alice gets the privilege of writing paid on our very official First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego deed of trust and mortgage. And I just want to point out that just by luck would have it, we also happen to be using diamond matches today.
And you're just as likely to use a diamond portobello, what do they call them? Whatever, out there. Paid.
All right. Don't crumple it up. You ready?
If you can count down with me from 5. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, that was fun. And I have some closing remarks that I will keep very short. But what a year to look back on together, and what a year we have to look forward to. We set an ambitious goal for our capital campaign and exceeded it. That's not just a financial achievement, it's a statement about who we are and that we believe this community is worth investing in. And now, as we begin our search for a new lead minister, we do so from a position of real strength. Our foundation, both literal and spiritual, is solid. I know the right person will find us, and we will find them. Thank you all for being here today. I now close the meeting.